Hey everybody, and welcome back to your Pennsylvania Dutch Minute. I got some questions this week that actually worked well together, so I'm going to throw two things into one video. I got an email asking about a video for powwowing among the Pennsylvania Dutch, and then also in the same week I got an email for a powwow remedy. So I'm going to hit both with one stone. So powwowing in Pennsylvania Dutch, and maybe some of you are familiar with this concept. It is traditional herbal healing. Traditional medicine practices by the Pennsylvania Dutch. And it's not just the Pennsylvania Dutch that do this. Of course, many cultures have their traditional healing practices. But under the Pennsylvania Dutch, we do have what we call powwowing. That's the English for it. In Pennsylvania Dutch, we would say Brauche or Braucherei. And a person that does these things is a Braucher. And I'm not going to go too much into depth on the history and everything behind it, because I'm going to tell you about a book that you should buy if you're really interested in learning more about the topic. But yes, we do have this tradition of traditional medicine men or women, healers that could come and would travel around the Pennsylvania Dutch country, going from farm to farm, or you could call upon a Braucher if you needed something. And it ranged from everything from, ways of getting rid of warts to, in the case of one of the questions that I got this week, traditional remedies for poison ivy, but also then to the extreme of if someone was actually feeling that they were being controlled by somebody else. Those were extreme cases. But your Braucher would learn the trade mouth to ear from another Braucher. And there are a couple books out there, traditional books that The Long Lost Friend is probably the best known by Homan, and that's out there. You can find copies of it now online, but that was published in the 1800s. But I would recommend, if you're really interested in learning more about this idea, you definitely need to pick up a copy of the book Powwowing in Pennsylvania by my good friend Patrick Dunmoyer. Powwowing in Pennsylvania, Braucherei, and the Ritual of Everyday Life. This book came out just recently, within the last 2 years. Patrick is, in my opinion, the foremost expert on powwowing right now that's alive. The book goes in depth into everything from the history of it and the background to it. I'll show you here an image of the table of contents, and as you can see, it's broken down. We have from ritual traditions of the Pennsylvania Dutch, going through the European origins, where this came from, how our forefathers brought it with them, healing, cosmology, ritual, hexerai, herbal rituals as well, and then, of course, going all the way to rituals of everyday life and a conclusion. It's a long book. It's over 280 some pages, but man, is it thorough. In my opinion, it's the best book out there right now on powwowing. There are other books out there, but this is the one that I'm recommending to you guys. You can find it on Amazon. I'll include a link in the bottom of the YouTube video here for you to purchase a copy if you'd like. Again, Patrick does talks from time to time around the Berks County and around the Pennsylvania Dutch country area on powwowing in a presentation. He really knows his stuff, and I'm not saying that just because he's a good friend. I'm saying that because he truly knows his stuff, and he always awes me in the amount of knowledge that he has in regards to powwowing and barn stars and a couple other Pennsylvania Dutch topics. But I'm going to roll this now into this idea. I got an email from a guy that was asking, hey, do you have any traditional herbal or traditional remedies for poison ivy? And I have to pull this up because I don't want to misquote it. So I went right to the source. I texted my good friend Patrick, who wrote the book, and I said, hey, I got someone that's interested in knowing how to cure poison ivy, traditionally according to the Pennsylvania Dutch, and let me read what Patrick wrote back. So he said, yes, indeed there is, and he said this is what he learned. Take chimney soot, some sweet cream, and jewel weed. Put it in a blender and apply it topically, to the skin, the area where the poison ivy is. Now, he does make note, chimney soot might be a little sketchy because, the creosote, which is carcinogenic, he said, but the idea is that is the base of the ointment, and that would help dry out the poison ivy. He said this remedy is in the book. And he found it by a guy by the name of Levi Layden from the Dillsburg area, Pennsylvania, and it is included in the book that I recommended. And, these ideas of herbal remedies are becoming, popular again in modern culture as people are becoming more and more skeptical of big pharma and, getting more natural. I was raised on some of these traditions. I can honestly say that I never knew anybody who was a powwower, and my family wasn't necessarily big into the powwowing scene. No one ever came to our our house and did anything like that. But I do know a lot of Pennsylvania Dutch people that believe in it 100%, and that even in 2019 there are powwowers out there. You can find them and still have blessings and so forth, and herbal remedies done by these guys and ladies. But again, if you want to learn a lot more about the history of it and the practice of it, please pick up the book, because it is, the A to Z on powwowing. It's a truly a very interesting topic, of course, and I think it's great that, again, us, the Pennsylvania Dutch, took something that we brought with us from the old world, and we're still maintaining these traditions and customs over 300 years later in America. So it lives on, and it probably will live on for generations to come. So there's a quick video on powwowing. Again, if you want to learn more, pick up the book. Again, I'll put the link underneath or down below in the YouTube video to pick that up. Or if you get a chance, try and see Patrick when he does one of his presentations, where you can actually talk to him or ask him questions. It's an enjoyable time. If you have an idea for a future video, well, you have to email me. Please do, of course. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, well, please subscribe, because that gets you an alert every time a brand new video is put out. And feel free to check out my website as well, padutch101.com, where you can find links for a lot of other helpful things, all things related to Pennsylvania Dutch. Until next time, keep the questions coming, and I'll keep the videos coming. If you're sick, look up powwowing. Maybe it's something, maybe you don't have to go get that prescription from the doctor. Maybe it's something as simple as a weed that's out there in your backyard that could help you cure your ills. You never know. All right, till next time, keep practicing your Pennsylvania Dutch, and Mox Good.
That's good.